Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Tuesday, October 20th in the evening around 7 o'clock, I'm going to join the YWCA's It's an Empty Place at the Table. It's located at the Little Theater in the Miron Student Center at Kean University at 1000 Morris Avenue. This is the YWCA's event highlighting the issue of domestic violence during the month of October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. On Wednesday, October 21st, I'm going to attend the Elizabeth Senior Walkability Workshop. It will be located at the Stephen Sampson Center, located at 900 Anna Street in our city. This seminar brings together city officials, members of the Department of Transportation, senior residents to explore their vision and ideas for what makes a healthy, safe, reliable, and walkable community. If you would like more information on this event, please call our Denise at 820-4044. Later that evening, there will be an after-hours business networking event beginning at 5 o'clock, hosted by the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce, and it will be held at the Garden Restaurant at 943 McGee Avenue in the Township of Union. On Thursday, October 22nd at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'll attend a health fair jamboree and Italian Heritage Celebration will be at the Peterstown Community Center, 418 Palmer Street. And if you want more information on this, please call Denise at 820-4044. On Friday, October 23rd at 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to join some citizens and some students for movie night at Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy. It's located in their cafeteria at 227 Center Street. And on Saturday this week, October 24th, I'll join members of the Health Department at 1:30 in the afternoon and the community at large for the 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk located at Carteret Park and the intersection of Elmore Avenue and Murray Street. This was canceled from 2 weeks ago when it was threatened with Hurricane Joaquin from coming through the area. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 820-4124. And please stay with us after these brief messages. We'll be back with more talking about Estuary Day in the city of Elizabeth.
We have some of the finest teachers in the country. And then they graduate. Kean University.
Welcome back to our city, and I'm pleased to be joined by Craig Donovan, Dr. Craig Donovan. He holds a PhD. He's on the faculty here at Kean University, and he's a Future City Incorporated board member. Dr. Donovan, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
And I'm also joined by Miss Lisa Barron from the Army Corps of Engineers, who, Lisa, is responsible for making Estuary Day work from her perspective. Right, Lisa?
From my perspective. Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
I know you've both been on the show before. So, Lisa, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and how many years you're with the Army Corps of Engineers. And every year we get to do this, and it's an educational forum.
It is. And I've been with the Corps. I'm going on 8 years. It's my anniversary upcoming this month. And I've gotten to be a participant in Estuary Day that you host, as well as Environmental Day. And before that, I'm a project manager at the Army Corps of Engineers, so I lead most of the ecosystem restoration program at the New York District, and was also for a year the Harbor Programs Branch chief, where I managed the harbor deepening and the ecosystem restoration. But before that, I was at New Jersey Department of Transportation, and as well as private consulting. So been working in the harbor for about 20 years on the issues that we're going to talk about today.
And we're going to explore some of that in a few more minutes. And yeah. Craig, you've been on the show in the past, a member of the board of Future City, PhD here. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, let's see. It's going on 24 years now that I've been here in New Jersey from the West Coast. I'm a professor of management here in the College of Business and Public Management, and was one of the founding board members of Future City with Michelle Duran-McBean. So I've had almost a quarter century now to help work on environmental issues here in our local area.
And Craig, I talked to you about this last time. culture shock coming from the West Coast to here. You grew up in San Diego.
I grew up in San Diego, so
and you moved to New Jersey.
Culture shock, weather shock. I didn't see snow until I was 30, so it takes a little getting used to. But after a quarter century, I'm starting to feel a little bit more like a native.
And your wife is from that area too, right?
My wife's from Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut. So she's used to snow.
She's used to this.
Oh, okay.
She reminds me of what's coming.
So tell us about the Elizabeth Estuary program and how the program reaches out to local communities, not only in our city, but in the region as well.
Well, the Estuary program was created by the Environmental Protection Agency back in 1987. And there are 28 estuaries around the country, 3 of which are here in the greater New York, New Jersey area, Barnegat Bay, Delaware Bay, and of course the New York, New Jersey port area. So the idea was that about 15 years ago they wanted to produce a program that would help educate the citizens, particularly high school students, junior high school students, through science programs, environmental programs, to make them aware of what estuaries are, to make them focused on the environment, and to help them be citizen scientists, even spur some of them into what we would now call STEM careers.
And Lisa, what Craig is talking about, from his perspective, the Army Corps of Engineers really wants to implement this as well. I mean, it's your goal, the Army Corps' goal. This is the 15th Elizabeth Estuary Day, and the Army Corps has been involved for all 15. So if you can tell us where your role fits and how the Army Corps gets involved in this would be great.
Well, I think it's a great venue for us to go and share with the students what the Corps does and what the role and our responsibilities are, and educate them to get them excited about these STEM careers, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And so we're of course always looking for the next generation of future leaders and participants to make a difference in our water resource problems. But it's great to participate in these events so that we can share what we
So Lisa, tell us, what is an estuary? I mean, we go through this every year, but for the new viewer out there, what exactly is an estuary?
Well, simply speaking, the estuary, and I brought our map, here of the estuary.
We're getting high tech, Lisa.
I know. And so really, an estuary is just where the ocean meets saltwater meets freshwater. It's that transition zone. So here's our estuary. And the Port District, or the Estuary District, the Estuary region, is about 25-mile radius around the Statue of Liberty. And so we have all of these tributaries bringing in fresh water and salt water coming in from the ocean into lower New York Bay and New York Harbor, and up through the Raritan. And so the salt water mixes with the fresh water, and it makes an incredible habitat and very productive environment for a lot of fish, wildlife, and bird species. And so we are in Elizabeth, over here just south of Newark Bay, and so we're receiving that fresh water from the Passaic River, from the Hackensack, from the Arthur Kill and the Kill Van Kull, and it's and that the fresh water and mixing with that salt water.
So is there a boundary? How do you know when the salt water and the fresh water no longer mix? Is it by sampling?
Well, every day the tides come in and bring the salt water in, and I think where that head of tide is dependent upon how much fresh water is being put into the system. So in rain events, the fresh water is much more of a volume of fresh water mixing in, so the head of tide might be a lot lower. When it's a lot drier in the summer, the tide ends up going up a lot further up into the tributaries. But it just depends on where you're at and how much fresh water is coming in to be able to balance in that transition area.
So Lisa, we're concerned here in the city of Elizabeth with the Arthur Kill. If you can highlight the Arthur Kill on the map, and exactly what is the Army Corps of Engineers' role in the Arthur Kill area? In the Arthur Kill,
well, first I'm going to answer that question after I give a broader what we're doing in the harbor, because the Arthur Kill is a small component of what we're doing. And we have 3 primary missions that we work on in the Arthur Kill and the rest of the harbor. And the first one, the longest one, is the navigation mission with the Harbor Deepening Project. And naturally, the estuary was 19 feet deep. And now we have, of course, the #1 port on the East Coast, and #3 in the nation. And so as these larger ships coming in, and in the Arthur Kill, we've got New York Container Terminal and lots of industry that require the channels to be dredged. And so for much of the harbor, we've dredged to 50 feet, 52 feet, and that's going to be completed. That'll be completed this year, and we're working on.
So you said the natural depth was 19 feet.
19 feet, and we've
Now
gone
it's-
all the way to 50 feet, and so it's been a lot of material that we've taken out of the channels, and so probably more than about 70 million cubic yards of sediment. And so I know volumes are tough to really grasp as to how much material that is, but you know, I guess it's probably more than 50 Empire State Buildings full, or you know, you've got a football field up to the Mount Everest, as high as Mount Everest. That's a lot of volume, and a lot more than that. And so we've had to manage that material, and we've done it all beneficially. And so the material through the harbor, and especially in the Arthur Kill, there's been a lot of rock. We've made reefs with the rock, and then the finer material that we dredge, we solidify, stabilize it, and we've capped a lot of landfills, closed a lot of landfills. And I always tell the kids, you know, that they most relate to the site of the New Jersey Gardens Mall here. You know, when you get out of your car, that you're standing on top of the parking lot, and underneath that is dredge material. So the dredge material management, that's one great issue that we've handled and been able to do a lot of beneficial activities with it. But in the Arthur Kill, we're finishing up this last Arthur Kill contract from the New York Container Terminal down to Phillips 66 down in Linden. And so there's been a lot of rock in that area, and actually the dredge that's been working on that has been able to actually excavate the rock without, and we stopped drilling and blasting last year. And so again, I'm going to thank your communities for being patient with the Corps and the drilling and blasting efforts. But that contract's supposed to be done by the end of the year.
Okay.
This year.
Craig, one of the things Estuary does is it talks about how important it is for the local science students, and you work with students all day long.
Yes.
And Lisa raises a really good point. She talks about commerce, talks about science. How do we handle all that together, and how do you teach your students that issue?
Well, that's part of why this is such an important and exciting thing to be involved with. This is the chance to help them see the link between the broader environment and the quality of the water, the quality of the estuary areas themselves, the linkages here locally in terms of things like the storm drains and storm drain runoffs. In the Estuary Day, we have workshops for the students to come in, and so they can learn about the water quality, their role in that maintaining the quality. They also get some of the commerce side of this, because, for example, the Arthur Kill is what we call a blue highway, and understanding how much of our economic livelihood is moving things from point A to point B. And for a lot of people, when they think about that, they think about trucks, the highway system, a little bit about ships sailing on the sea. But again, they're thinking, Europe to America to China. They're not thinking about just, for example, up and down the coast and getting them in and out of the port. And that's one of the reasons why the Arthur Kill in particular is so important, is because it is serving as a federal blue highway.
So why do you call it a blue highway? Why do you call it a blue way?
The idea is
it's not blue anymore.
It's not blue, but it's a marine highway. When you think highway, you're thinking about ships. You're thinking about trucks and transportation. A marine highway is focusing on moving cargo from point A to point B along the water. It's more efficient. It's more effective. Uses less energy. It's less polluting. So the more we can move goods on the oceans and on the rivers, the better it is for the environment overall. And of course, being a hub of that here in Elizabeth and in the New Jersey port area, New Jersey New York Port Authority, the better it is for our economy.
And Lisa, the role that the Army Corps continues to play in the Arthur Kill, what are the pending local projects? You talked about the dredging, which is soon to be completed, but that doesn't stop the work of the Army Corps and the Arthur Kill. No,
not at all. And once the dredging project, the construction project is finished, then we'll be maintaining the channel. But one of the other major roles that we're we're involved with is the ecosystem restoration mission. And so not just navigation, but balancing it with the environment. And so it goes along with the message to the kids. And so since I manage most of the ecosystem restoration program, trying to influence whether it's habitat restoration, bringing back wetlands, oyster reefs, eelgrass beds, the different habitat types, in conjunction with improving water quality and sediment quality within the Arthur Kill, as well as the entire estuary. And I should have pointed out, because this map is pretty interesting, because it's actually from 1776, that it's got a lot of green on it. And this is a very old map, so showing that all of these wetlands that were once there.
The green is considered the wetlands?
Considered wetlands, yeah. So that was all highly vegetated, it was wetlands, marshes, and now 85% of those wetlands have been lost. So it's really important that we bring back the natural aspects and green infrastructure so that we can improve, not only provide the habitat that's been lost, but improve the water quality and sediment quality of the estuary.
We're going to take a break, do some commercials, and come back and talk more about Estuary Day in the City of Elizabeth. Please stay with us after these messages. We'll be back with Craig Donovan and Lisa Barron talking about Estuary Day and the Arthur Kill and the importance to commerce and economic development, as well as the scientific knowledge here in the City of Elizabeth. Please stay with us.
We're an American original.